We're live, baby. Welcome back, everybody. Today is the FOMC minutes. This is going to be a big deal. In June, Fed Chair Chairman Warsh gave his first FOMC keynote speech, and we were here live for it. You were here live for it. It was historic by every means. We wished the era of Powell goodbye. It was a fun time, a good time. And we ushered in a new Fed chair. With the new Fed chair, we had many changes. Potentially many changes. We're going to go over what Warsh talked about at the FOMC, the major points, and then at 2 p.m., so in about 20 minutes, we will have the FOMC minutes published live. And in those minutes, we will get unique insights into the thought process, the behind closed doors discussion of what was said at the FOMC. These at times can be very boring, just like the meetings themselves. However, this being the first meeting with Warsh as Fed chair, it is undoubtedly going to have some surprises for us. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Let me know if the stream is good. I don't know. We've been having issues. Let's get into it. What I need you to do is tap the screen for me. I need you to hit the like button, send hearts, send comments, send opinions, subscribe, join us, follow along. What's up, Kai? I see you over there. And we're gonna get this underway. FOMC today, asked Misha. It is not the FOMC, but it is, we'll say, the next best thing. It's the FOMC minutes. These are important notes, discussions, factors, just behind the scenes stuff from the FOMC meeting in June. These come out I think it's 2 weeks after the FOMC every time. And we cover them here because they do sometimes have some really good information, really good just extra tidbits that weren't included during the meeting itself. And as Warsh has said, and I guess we'll just jump into it, he wants the Fed to be basically less vocal. These notes could prove to be more influential than usual. We don't really know. We don't have a good idea of how Warsh is going to run the Fed yet. And so anything we can get, any information, any comments, any opinions, even just vibes are going to be valuable from Warsh himself. We had a really good grasp over how Powell would act. We all but just knew what he was thinking at all times, honestly, from following him so much. We really did just kind of know what he was thinking, what he was going to do. With Warsh, we have no idea. We have literally 2 speeches from Warsh. We could go back and look. He was on the Fed board in 2009 during the financial crisis. We could go back and look at some of that content. We're not going to do that today. I don't know if I'm ever really going to do that. At this point, that was almost 2 decades ago. What he said then is not super relevant, in my opinion, to what he's going to do now or say now. So let me jump into this. Gold, what's happening? Crimson Lore, we'll look at gold. We'll look at many charts. I have oil pulled up here because I think oil and the dollar are going to be big players here, the most likely to respond, perhaps Bitcoin as well, to the Fed notes. The audio and video are not synchronized. I wonder why. Hold up, let me make sure nothing's weird. Can I get a reading over there? Pickle, how's it sound? Is it 1.9, right? Try refreshing. That would be bad. Good on Pickle's end. Try refreshing. Okay. And while you're refreshing, keep hitting those hearts. We already have 1,000 hearts on TikTok, and we need more than that. We need 1,000 likes on the tube also. You're good? Thank you, friends. Thank you. Yeah, I can never tell, we have thousands of viewers and someone's bound to have issues, right? And I can never tell if it's on my side or on your side. So I appreciate you guys keeping me up to the loop. So, I guess we'll go over kind of the main points at the FOMC in June. Again, it was Warsh's first. We wished Powell goodbye, and it was uneventful for the most part. There was no interest rate change. The vote on that was unanimous. Warsh described the economy as expanding at a solid pace, despite uncertainty in the Middle East and obviously with energy prices. Something that hit me the hardest during the FOMC was Warsh said specifically the inflation target, the 2% inflation target, has been missed 5 years in a row or something to that tune, basically saying the Fed has not gotten inflation under control to meet their mandate in over 5 years. And that is absolutely accurate. That is completely accurate. I'm baffled, honestly, when I see sources saying inflation is under 2%. I think sources like Trueflation often report really low numbers. I'm really not sure how they cook that up. The experience you and I have just in our lives buying things, it's pretty obvious we're not seeing 1 or 2% inflation a year. If anything, we're probably running way hotter than these numbers are suggesting. CPE came in, was it May into June at 3.4%, making it the hottest inflation reading in, I don't know, 5 years plus. That number came in again from June to July, I believe, and it was only 3.2, or it was something slightly lower. It was like a fraction, just a 0.1 or 0.2 lower. Neither of which suggests that inflation is under control or that really the Fed and the fiscal policy is on the right track, that it's being too dovish or not restrictive enough. That's my opinion or my read on that. Unemployment is the number that the Fed is happy with. We've seen unemployment around 4.3%. Remember, unemployment itself is a kind of gibberish metric. It doesn't really represent how many people are not employed and how many people are employed. It only represents kind of a revolving door of people who have lost their job, I think it's in the last 6 months, and haven't found a new job in that time frame. And once they're outside of that window, they're just dropped out of the metric altogether. So they're no longer included in it. But unemployment, along with CPE, CPI, inflation numbers, so employment and inflation are basically the dual mandate that the Fed looks to balance, controlling the money supply with how the job market is doing. And the job market at 4.3% unemployment is around where they want it. It's around ideal, we've seen Powell say in the past. So the number that's out of whack is the inflation number. The 2% target over 5 years, yes, continues to burden Americans. The committee is unambiguous and unanimous in its commitment to deliver price stability. That was a big key part of the speech at the FOMC, just price stability, something that they admitted has not been delivered in half a decade. The good news, or the news I think that they were trying to focus on, was median projections of GDP growth at 2.2% this year and 2.3% next year. PCE inflation elevated near term and unemployment at 4.3. They were trying to focus on the GDP growth, and I think it was indirectly kind of jammed into this that all of the hopes and dreams were on AI, that AI is going to help us outgrow this inflationary period, or I don't even want to call it a period. This inflationary spiral, I think, is really closer to reality. And while there's logic to put some eggs in that basket, I don't think that that is the grand play. I think going all in and just praying that this technology that is undoubtedly useful and undoubtedly will continue to have greater use will save us somehow. Save us from just unresponsible fiscal policy, from unlimited printing and spending from our government. Unlikely. Very unlikely. The median appropriate federal funds rate was projected to be at 3.8% by the end of 2026 and 3.6% by the end of 2027. I honestly disagree with these numbers. Warsh himself said he disagrees with the dot plot and forward guidance. That was a huge takeaway from the FOMC in June, that forward guidance was a tool that he doesn't think should be utilized. That is in many ways restrictive to the Fed. That would leave them with just interest rate changes, interest hikes and cuts, and quantitative easing and tightening. In general, those are their two main tools anyway, but forward guidance was kind of an indirect, sneaky way of having an additional tool. And basically, that's the Fed just saying, here's what's happening now. Here's what we think is going to happen in the near-term future. And here's what we think is going to happen a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road. And I think the reason Warsh pushes against that, there is some logic, is that expectation of inflation is a huge factor of inflation itself. When people expect inflation, inflation happens. It's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy. And so I think he hopes to avoid some of the fallout by avoiding giving forward guidance. I'm not really sure. Well, he said that he will continue with the dot plot. It's our favorite thing. I mean, I love it, and it's nerdy. But that he will not participate, which it just seems random because the way the dot plot's set up, we wouldn't know what where his opinion was anyway. The dot plot doesn't distinguish between who voted for what. It just shows basically where each participant as a dot, represented as a dot, but not as a name, so anonymously, sees inflation expectations over different time periods. The post-meeting statement was really short and simplified, going along with his commitment to making the Fed, I'll say, less chatty. The Fed being less chatty. I think that's a fair way to put it. It was more fact-based, and some people report with forward guidance removed. I mean, in some ways, forward guidance removed. Because he doesn't feel as though providing forward guidance is right at this time. I guess that's what he said. I don't even remember that. But it's hard to not give forward guidance. Basically, that's like saying you're not going to comment on any impacts down the road or what you see down the road. And as the Fed, I do believe that they should be operating more in the present and with what's going on now. But that again is kind of restricting to them because they often have not been like making decisions in the present, basically based on lagging or past data. It puts them kind of it's like a conundrum. I'm not sure exactly how you can do this. Like you can't make decisions on data you don't have yet. So that by necessity kind of makes you lagging. It makes you dependent on these sources that come in later. There's probably no way to get that data in real time, instantly, reliably. And so if you're not going to focus on the future, what exactly are you going to focus on? It's going to be an interesting minimum 4 years with Warsh. I'm definitely looking forward to it. He did impress me with his speech at the European Central Bank, along with Lagarde and the other bankers. He definitely impressed me. The big takeaways from that, and I'll wrap up. I got one more thing to say about what he said at the last meeting, but real quick, interject this. The thing that impressed me with his meeting with other bankers was he acted like an adult. It's really rare these days, especially in the United States, in the government, for people to have the air, the aura of an adult. Someone who likely is not going to be influenced easily, is not going to be sidetracked or distracted. He proved that many times. Shout out to Sarah, the moderator in that was a beast. Love her. We'll have to start following her. She really tried to get him to say the things that he said he wasn't going to say, tried to get him to answer questions that he said he wasn't going to answer. And every single time he remained on topic, similar to Powell. People didn't like Powell. Matter of opinion. But that is why the world liked Powell, is Powell was an adult. He was on target, on task, not distracted, and despite many attempts from forces around him, stayed on course. And that's what we really want from a Fed chair in the United States. They don't have to make all the perfect decisions. That'd be great if they did. But we want someone who can stay on task and can just ignore the noise and do what is at least best provided with the tools and data they have at the moment. Okay, last thing. We have just a few minutes until the FOMC notes are out. So yeah, you got time to grab a brew and roll up. Lock in now. Put your seatbelts on because we got like just about 5 minutes until these notes are out. So last point, going over the FOMC, the task forces. This is perhaps the biggest change, the biggest visible thing that Warsh is doing differently. I can definitely get behind a task force idea, basically bringing in experts to weigh in on decisions. I think that's great. It's like something we don't do often enough anymore. However, it was a little abrasive the way that this unfolded. He kind of just dropped in here and then just fell back on every question. It was almost like these task forces are going to be a shield for him, where he can potentially, I don't know, go against data or go against things by saying, well, that's what the task force said to do this. So that's why we made this decision, even if it goes against data or something like that. But at minimum, 5 task forces were discussed. One was Fed communications. including potential changes to the dot plot and press conferences. God, I hope that doesn't mean that they won't have FOMCs. Oh my God. I already lost Powell. I can't take another hit. Which it does go along with what he was saying about like reducing chattiness of the Fed. It's interesting. A balance sheet task force to review the ample reserves regime risks and alternatives. A task force on data sources. Greater use of real-time private sector data. AI analytics, God, I hope not. Reducing reliance on historical surveys and revisions. And on paper, that sounds great. In practice, that is going to prove difficult, as I said. I'm not going to make a call now about how that's going to go. A lot of this is going to be, we have to see how it plays out in reality. Saying that you're going to use real-time data and AI analytics, I mean, honestly sounds buzzwordy to me. If it were that easy, I think that would be a tool the Fed would have already been practicing. That's my honest take. Productivity and jobs task force. The impacts of AI. AI was like the buzzword during almost everything he said, and that makes me largely uncomfortable. But impacts of AI and other general purpose technologies on the Fed's mandates. While AI is definitely big and definitely huge, and I never deny that it will be a larger part of the future probably every year going forward, I'm not sure that this justifies or warrants a whole 20% of the Fed's new task forces. Actually, more than that, because the other task forces also mentioned AI. It really feels kind of like the 2021 like NFT crypto bubbly buzz, where it's like everything for some reason is just naming NFTs or naming crypto, and it's like, I don't really believe that you know what these things are. I don't really believe that you know how to use them, even if there was a use. I feel like you're just jamming them in because people are telling you to. I don't know. Okay, last one, inflation frameworks, drivers of inflation, and the Fed's responsibilities. Those are the 5 task forces that were announced. Do I have the shirt on backwards? I thought I had the shirt on backwards for a second. Random. Those are the task forces that were announced, and I'm going to give them all the benefit of the doubt. To start, I'm going to say, I like the initiative. I think that the Fed has needed to update how they operate for a long time. I do not know if this is the way to do it, but I think that some change is better than no change. Ooh, I just got an alert for SpaceX breaking down. We'll have to look at that too in a minute. I think some change is better than no change. What's really going to hit hard and really matter is going to be who gets put on these task forces. He did not name a single name. We have no names, to my knowledge, at this point. We have been given that they are going to be educated, obviously, people, and people who have held positions before in federal, global fiscal kind of policy. So that could be bankers, Fed members, whatever. And he said it is not limited to just Americans, which I actually kind of liked. I think it's not a bad, I think it's a good way to do it. But they could be chosen from a global pool. So who is chosen is really going to shine. If we get, I don't know, the equivalent of like RFK as the health director, you know what I mean? These task forces are obviously just like a sham at that point. But if we see real respected names of people who know what they're doing appointed here that can logically contribute to these conversations and can add valuable input, then they're likely to have a positive impact. That is my take on this. That's what I truly believe. On top of who is in them, we'll have to see how they function, how much authority, how much power they have when it comes to the Fed and their decision making, because we can have all the best people there, but if they have no impact on the decision, it doesn't matter. And if we have all the worst people there and they have all of the impact, then then we're screwed, right? So how this plays out, who's there, and the influence they have on the Fed are going to be the main things going forward this year. And I'm looking forward to hearing those nominations. If you guys have seen or heard any of them, let me know. What's up, Sebi? Subscribe and I see you. Bullish Babe. How you doing, Bullish Babe? Can I do this? Well, let me do this. Oh, I can do it. There you are. Comments there. Perfect. Done. We have 2 minutes until the notes come out. I did not expect to speak that long. I appreciate you sticking with me here. Let me see. What's up, Trades by Blake? Never seen my eyes before? It's a gift, my friend. It's a gift. Let me see. Did I miss any other chats on any of the other streams? Nobody? Nobody. All right, cool. Let me turn the attention over to the chat here for the few precious seconds we have. 𝐿𝐼𝐳, Stock Burner Official. What's up, man? What's up, Shorya? What are you guys thinking? SPY bullish or bearish after the meeting? Unlikely to change, in my opinion. I don't think there's going to be a huge change from when these notes come out to right now. But we will see. We've never gotten these. We've never had FOMC notes, or FOMC minutes they call them, but they really are notes. We've never had them from an FOMC with Warsh. So we don't have a foundation to kind of examine these or to understand them through. Honestly, I would expect them to be dovish. I thought virtually everything that Warsh said was dovish. Or why am I saying dovish? My bad. Hawkish. I think everything he said virtually was hawkish. So I'd assume these notes will also be hawkish. There's a chance that they might not have a lot, or they may be different than we're used to or we're expected to. I did say Wendy's, you're right. So it'll be bullish or bearish. I honestly think it'll be neutral for markets. I don't think that there'll be a big mix up right now, especially considering there's like the war is back on now. The war was over. We've won this war 100 times and now we're back at it to win it 101 times. If anything, that is likely to be a bigger driver than what is going to be said today. Let's take a peek though. They should be live. Let me Fed FOMC minutes. What's up, Rowan? Kashif. Calendars and meeting information. Okay. June. Here we are. Released today. Let me pull this up. Do it like that. Second to organize these tabs. Boom. I'm going to pull them up here, but then we're of course going to have AI help us out here. Break them down because it would be a crazy task. Crazy task to try to do all of this, reading this to you guys. It would be very boring. I'll make this small over here. Be extremely, extremely boring. I got oil pulled up here. We did have, maybe we called the exact bottom on oil. I don't know. It kind of seems like it. Kind of feels like it. Got the notes. They are live for anybody joining us now. You tuned in at the exact right time. This is the moment. So many tabs, man. This is the moment. Give me just a second. We're going to be breaking down these FOMC minutes that were just published 60 seconds ago. We're breaking them on down. While I do this, because I'm going to need just a little bit of time. While I do this, I need you to hit the like button. I need you to subscribe, to follow, to tap the screen. I need you to hype it up. You can do it. Okay. Boom. Got that working on there. What's up, Mike? Thanks for following. How you doing, Israel Jaspu? Can't hear a sound. It's your phone. That's interesting. Wow. Let's turn the volume up. What's up, Queen Finn? Rotten Melon. I'm gonna get my back cracked, dude. My back is killing me. I don't know what I did. Is this for July? So this is for June. We're gonna watch the live video of the FOMC meeting. Yikes. Well, on June 17th or something of last month, June 16th, you could have watched it live. These are the minutes, so we're gonna be breaking these down live. Is it up or down? Just tell me. Is it up or down for gold? I didn't even look at charts. I am currently short on gold. I'm currently short on it. What's up, Feels Real? Who else is here? I want to know who's here today. AI is just about done summarizing those minutes for you, so I'm going to break them down. I see 19. What's up, brother? Over on YouTube's Abdul Men Salama, Adam Mikkel, Afi Gorilla. What's up? 8BP Trick Shots, Amdeer, Animal Viral Videos, Bob Saget, Boost Card, CBK Wahoo. Professor Bean's hair is like on my nose. Crypto Jim, Christy DNC, Crypto Needs Red Bull, Crypto Stevo, Digital Content, Dino Gamer, Evil, Feels Real, Fernando Media, God's Will 𝐂𝐻𝐳. If I butcher your name, sorry guys. Harmonic Fisherman, Hits Chobsia. There's some hard names today. You guys are giving me like tongue twisters. Israel Jospu, Isaiah. I thought it was a good idea. What's up, brother? 𝐒𝐳 Jamin Koala, John Doe, Kevin VH90, Lackman Jerden, Lucia 870. What's up, Poppy? What's up, M2M, Meat Sheath? Wow, we have a ton of viewers on YouTube right now. What's up, man? The Sound of SysIQ, that's a funny name, bro. I'm a Kevin V, dude, Kuru, Luke Manjeridan, Monte Carlo, MK Trade, Mr. Dinkles, what's up, dude? Muex FX, Mutharaj, NASA Gov 90, Neem Malema, Nimoy, Nomad, Official Jeremy, Orlando, Philip Kloss, dude, I'm like only at the P's, Prince Pathy, Queen Finsoff, Ram Nag Pure, Rachel Palm. Dude, these are the hardest names we've ever had. What's happening? Rob Witt Dummy, Ross Smith, there's a name. Rotten Melon Productions, Russell, Justin D. Anders, Sammy, Samurai Cat, Skull Failure, Sanjog, Style by Stacy Fizzy, Sin, Tartoon Gapta, Tjas Charlie Pickle, Theros B, Swamp Neil, Taking Profit, Thomas Seco, Tyrus, Carlos. Dude, we must have thousands of viewers on YouTube right now because there's so many chatters. Truth Player 2, Butler 2, Mommy, Vingastal, Sala, Wins, Wizwealth, XZ, Queemy, Yikes, It's Drama, Yogi Vibes, You Grow, I Grow, Zach Gun Hong, holy. 501k, what's up, man? What's the YouTube's the same as on TikTok. Just at Tom Crown. Just Tom Crown. Oh, dude, there's so many people here. How many people are here? There's almost we've almost have 2,000 viewers on YouTube. That adds up. I did not look at the numbers at all. You tuned in at the right time. At the exact right time. I know I was just shouting people out and their names and you're like, what is this guy doing? Tuned in at the exact right time because we are breaking down these FOMC minutes right now at this very second. So, summary of the FOMC. Policy decision. The committee voted unanimously 12-0 to maintain the target range for the federal funds at 3.25 to 3.75. It also reaffirmed policy of maintaining ample reserves in the banking system. The post-meeting statement was significantly shortened and revised. Interesting. Those are really similar to these other notes. Anyway, it removed previous language suggesting an easing bias and instead highlighted solid economic activity despite uncertainty in the Middle East, strong productivity growth, capital investment, and stable market conditions. It stated that inflation remains elevated relative to the 2% goal. Yeah, we know all that. Key economic developments. Here we are. Optimism about the potential resolution in the Middle East conflict, including an Iran memorandum. I feel like we've had a ceasefire, a peace deal, and like maybe even a new war twice since this FOMC in June. They were really hopeful. However, Treasury yields rose 20 BPS on the 10-year, and the dollar strengthened modestly. Equities rose sharply. S&P by 6%, led by tech and AI. Policy rate expectations have moved higher, just as I was saying. Inflation is elevated and higher than a year earlier. April PCE totaled at 3.8%, core at 3.3%. Staff estimated May figures at 4.1 total and 3.4 core. Drivers included pass-through from tariffs, higher energy input costs from the Middle East conflict, the Strait of Hormuz effects, obviously, and strong AI-related demand. The labor market stable and balanced. What's up, Demas? How are you, man? Unemployment rate held at 4.3%. Solid payroll gains roughly matched labor force growth. Wage growth was around 3.4%, slightly lower year over year. It's interesting they keep saying like, oh, these economic numbers are good and strong and stable, and then it's like when you look at any of them individually, it's like none of them seem to support that. Maybe I'm missing something. Real GDP expanded at a solid pace in Q2, supported by strong AI-related business development, data centers, equipment, software, and resilient consumer spending. Real private domestic final purchases increased. Foreign growth was mixed, weakened in some regions due to higher energy costs and lower confidence from the conflict. Inflation forecast revised higher for 26 due to incoming data, energy costs, and AI effects. That doesn't make sense. AI messing up the summary of this. It doesn't make sense, but that's okay. Expected to slow in the second half of 26 as some of the shocks fade, then decline further toward 2% by 2028. Growth, solid, of course, that's what they always say. Near or slightly above potential, supported by productivity. Unemployment expected to stay near its longer run level. Elevated uncertainty in the Middle East and AI effects. Risk to growth tilted slightly downward. Risks to inflation tilted upward. Giving a higher possibility of long-term persistent inflation, as we keep saying. The participants' views. Participants generally agreed that inflation had risen further and remained well above the 2% target, with increasingly broad-based pressures. Tariffs, supply disruptions, AI demands for goods, services, and electricity. That's another thing I don't think most people, I'll interrupt myself here. A lot of people, I don't think understand, especially people rooting for rate cuts, are also people that are typically very of the mindset that AI is going to like grow us out of this rut, that AI is, people who think we should put all the eggs in the AI basket. A lot of those people don't understand that all of this data center building, all of the AI productivity we're talking about, those are all going to drive inflation. AI if we build it at the capacity that we want to build it, it is going to consume an insane amount of our energy. Energy is essentially the baseline of inflation. We already have statistics that show that when a data center is built near you, your electricity goes up whatever percent, too much. Anyway, back to the participants' views. I'm not a participant on the FOMC yet. Warsh, task force, right here. Sign me up. Medium and longer term inflation expectations remained well anchored. The labor market was stable and balanced, not generating inflationary pressures. Economic activity was solid, driven by AI related investment. Of course, that's like the whole thing now. Almost every single sentence has been that. All supported holding rates at this meeting. I agree. I didn't think that they were going to raise rates at this meeting, but I think towards the end of the year they will. A few saw a cause for raising rates, but agreed to maintain the current range. Some viewed policy as not restrictive, or only slightly restrictive. Future actions will be data dependent. Scenarios discussed include both potential easing if inflation declines. Yeah, if inflation declines, then we can look at easing, absolutely. And firming if inflation continues to be elevated, which is what I think we're looking at. Communications. Many participants supported shortening the post-meeting statement and removing the easing bias language. So removing the dovishness, removing the cut talk. Chairman Kevin Warsh announced plans to establish 5 independent task forces led by Leonardo, Donatello, Michelangelo, Raphael, to review key aspects of monetary policy conduct, communications, including the SEP, balance sheet, data sources, productivity and jobs, specifically AI impacts, and inflation frameworks. These will examine issues from first principles. Other notes. Man, there was not that much in these. The desk's domestic operations were ratified unanimously. No foreign currency interventions. The next FOMC meeting is at the end of this month, July 28th, or it's 29th on the Wednesday. Attendance included Chairman Warsh and was full set and the full set of the FOMC members and voting participants. The minutes portray a committee focused on persistent. Here's the highlight of all of what I just said. I know it was a lot. Here's one sentence. The minutes portray a committee focused on persistent inflation risks amid solid growth and stable labor conditions. Focused on persistent inflation risks. If you take one thing away, take that away. They reflect a deliberate shift towards more concise communications. I don't think that's bad. Reduced forward guidance, arguable, and internal reviews of the policy framework under the new chair. This aligns closely with the tone and announcements from Chair Warsh's June 17th press conference. Exactly. Precisely. This is exactly what we expected. I read the whole meeting as rather hawkish. A lot of people walked away and were like, "Oh, that was dovish. That was," and I couldn't help but think, like, why do you think that? Like, what about it was dovish? They talked about inflation risks the whole time. There was like some hopium sprinkled in of like, oh, AI, but like it is all inflation risks. What do you guys think? Let me refresh the chat here. Woo, dude, so many messages over on YouTube. Holy. Buy gold, says Clips. Gold to 14. Is gold the thing? Why are people looking at gold today? Can anybody tell me? Yeah, Verhoofdy, let him, I don't know. As long as it's not just one person spamming, let him spam. Let him go. I don't care. Keep the hype going. Gold short still on the table. What is happening here with all these? Is there a meeting or just reports? Clicks. That was the FOMC minutes. So they, after the FOMC, 2 weeks later, they released the minutes. The minutes are like the behind the scenes talks, notes of the FOMC. So they do occasionally contain information that was not said during the FOMC meetings. Sometimes they will kind of flush out ideas a little more. These were heavily focused on what we heard on the meeting. These were task force, inflation risk, inflation's not a target, labor market's fine. That's pretty much where it was. There was no real surprises there. Dude, people are going nuts. Where can you watch the meeting minutes report? You just did, my friend. Ask it to simplify. Yeah, I mean, I already did. Yeah, that's what I did. I already did it. There just wasn't that much in them. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised. Yeah, I don't know what's happening here. There's a lot of people talking about gold and silver. Maybe we do time them out. If you time out people who are spamming, give them like the lowest timeout. What is it? We have like 2,000 viewers on YouTube right now, so people are just going nuts. Give them a 1 minute timeout if you time people out. You're good. Probably some bots. Probably. Buy gold, silver. So what's going on? Why are so many people talking about gold and silver in this chat? What is happening? What's up? It's Mr. I'm Awesome. How are you, dude? I don't know. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate your super sticker. I've been looking at this gold short since the end of June. 4,100. I don't know. I'm not sure why people are excited. Sunday hit 4,200. Now looks like it's kind of returning back to the lows of the end of June. Not seeing anything super special here. Am I missing something about gold at the moment? Market doesn't expect the market. What's up, New York? What's up, Dark Side? Keep it real. What's on this chart? This is gold. Is it hard to see on TikTok, the chart? I don't know why it's so bad resolution compared to YouTube. I don't. TikTok like doesn't like trust us for some reason. I don't know. They won't like let me do stuff. Large people, yeah. I mean, I know a large amount of people trade gold and silver, brother. But we've been live streaming here for 7 years, and I mean, pretty much daily, and it's just unusual the amount of people saying gold and silver right now. It's weird. What is like we see this kind of if these are bots, like whoever these people spamming it, like we see this kind of like weirdness with like meme coins and like just like scams. Who is sending bots out to promote gold? Like how many $1 trillion asset? Like how could they possibly influence it with like a I don't know 2K stream. I don't know, man. It is weird. Oil rebounding. Gold, I don't know, man. If it was like pumping right now or dumping right now, I would get it more, but it's like gold's just kind of sideways. Schiff has taken over the chat. Maybe it is Schiff. I'm short on gold. At 4,100, I'm short on gold. I think the stop loss makes even more sense now than it did. You could move it down to like 4,200. Where's the minutes? Isn't it happening at 11? What's up, Just Bull? Yeah, what's up, Folsom Hodel? No, the minutes have come and gone. The minutes were published at 2 p.m. East. I just went over them. Speeches. Shorting's risky at this level. Could be. That's what stop loss is for. Could be short. Could be risky. We've had quite a few subscribers. So I mean, it wasn't. This is the thing: is it wasn't all bots though. Like there's some bots chatting, but like not all. Like we've had a lot of subscribers. What's up, Waleed, Maverick, Keymax, Wild Wonders, Bapak, Mohammed, K, Axel, Do Dreams, Abandoned Channel, Oliver Logo, Oliver Logo Maker Network, Prince Sam, Ton Shabab, V Adventures, Lib Bliss, Sankit, Busu and Cards, Cattell, JB, Saeed, CVT Gossip, Halim, Vincent. We've had a lot of new subscribers, more people. If you're out there, right now is the time. Join the wave. Join the excitement here. We're about to crack into some charts. We just went over the FOMC minutes. We just summarized them. Gave a solid breakdown. If you missed that, I don't know, rewind the stream like 20 minutes. Exactly 20 minutes ago is when you will find the start of that. I'll put timestamps on the stream at the end. So if you missed it, you can go back then. No speech today. There is no speech. I'm sorry, friends. I'm sorry. I know whenever we do this, a lot of people get confused. They think that the FOMC speech is happening. The minutes are released 2 weeks after the FOMC. They're a summary, notes, behind the scenes thing, and they do tend to have some valuable information in them. The next FOMC is July this month, the 29th. It's the last Wednesday of this month. So tune in then for that. Don't miss that. But to even stream daily, do that. I mean, a lot of different stuff. Yeah, certainly I don't stream 1,000 trades every day. No. We've been streaming, I say daily, daily enough. We've been streaming daily on YouTube for 7 years. Live, just trades, charting, FOMC, monetary events, all kinds of good stuff. Let's blow up our accounts today. Sure. Let's do it. Yeah, I am bearish. Gold is in a downtrend. I'm bearish on gold until it breaks the downtrend. I mean, let's be real. Facts are facts. If you can get back above 4,300, things look decent for gold to break that downtrend. If you don't, you are just putting in more lower highs, lower lows, and I think you're trading back, I'll say like 3,500 minimum. This was from a stream we were talking about possibilities. 3,500 minimum back to the resistance of April of 25. Untested resistance. Could look to see support there. I'm going to hesitate to go lower to like make a forecast beyond that. There's no real point of it. I do think gold would be a long at 3,500 if it retraces to there in this year. It'd be a long. What else can we look at? I guess Nasdaq added, Nasdaq added SpaceX yesterday. And the rug has begun. The rug has begun. Why gold? Silver not moving? Why would they be moving today? On Iran war, I guess because the markets are exhausted from hearing about the same war. That's my guess. What's up, FG, Mert, MK? There's a lot of new subscribers. Welcome, brothers. I need you guys to hit the like buttons. Tap the screen, send hearts. Subscribe. Join our fam. Grow up, gold. We'll look at Bitcoin. Yeah, Dave, we'll do Bitcoin next. SpaceX, though, right now is actually taking the cake, in my opinion. It was just added to Nasdaq officially yesterday. And it has now traded to the lowest price post-IPO. Post-IPO lowest price right here, right now. $146 on the dot. Yikes. Yikes. We did have a little scalp long. Looks like we scalped the swing low to swing high and got out, and it dumped. SpaceX is now in a downtrend. Surprising, I don't know, hopefully not anybody here. The IPO price at 135. Probably going to be the next spot to look for a bounce. That would be my best guess. Bah, you guys are bought, what? 35 not coming 38 max? Yeah, we'll see. Time will tell, my friend. SpaceX. Let's see. $135 at the IPO price. I think that's where we're going. I think that's where we're headed. We just broke lower again. The inclusion in Nasdaq not giving it any buying power, apparently. Just trading lower on this news. That makes no sense. Makes no sense to me. Looking for oversold on the hour. What do we look at in the day? There's just not a lot of candles here to work with. Breaking lower. All right. Just, I guess, send it lower. If I wanted to be contrarian to the short position, I might look for a long here. Back to like that 157, 156 area, previous support. I don't like this trade, though. At this point, I think you're catching a knife. I think you're catching a knife for something that's looking to go to 135. I think I probably would be hands off here until I should put 135 alert. At minimum, 135. On top of SpaceX, let me see SpaceX versus Tesla. Actually, not trading at its low. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. On base metals like copper, copper. I actually haven't looked at copper in a while. We could look at copper. I'll keep looking at metals if you guys keep subscribing. How's that sound? Are they hawkish or dovish? I think that they're hawkish. I personally think they're hawkish. I think everything that Warsh has said himself has been hawkish. I think that there's room for interpretation with his task forces, these ideas, especially depending on who's on them and how quickly they're filled. That maybe those will add a little dovish tone to it, but I don't understand how anybody would have listened to him at the FOMC or at the European Central Banking Committee and taken away dovish. I just don't know. Hawkish means sell everything, Jin Chung? Probably not. I don't know. I don't think anything ever means sell everything. Usually panicking is not a great idea. I haven't looked at copper in quite a bit. Copper, the slow mover of these metals. 675, slight pullback. Copper looks healthier at this point, in my opinion, than gold or silver. Copper is moving really slow, but it is in an uptrend. Gold and silver cannot say that. I tested $6. I think $6 would be a good entry. It already hit it. Son of a bee. Hit it Monday, even worse. I guess not. Light years away, light years of banana. Man, I want to put on music. I'll do that later. Got some bearish divergence here on copper for your highs. We have higher highs in price. We have lower highs on RSI. Not exactly what you want to see. Money flow trickling off with momentum. Copper, the thing that copper has going for it, in my opinion, is simply that it doesn't seem to be following gold and silver. At this point, anything not following gold and silver has a shot. It continues to climb up the high. The lows continue up. The highs continue up. Not in the downtrend. I'm not seeing particular strength here, though. Looks like a double top here for May and June. Rejected right around our 1618 extension. Our 675 target. If copper does break 675... Wow, it's Indian market. There you go. Thank you, Chris. If it does break 675, I think you can see a run to $8 pretty quickly. But this is not. This is the only thing this has going for it is not going with gold and silver. Eyed it out. Eyed that 618. Maybe yeah. What's the draw down there? 9%. Get like a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Back to 675. I think any of these can be played. If you're looking for bearishness, I think 675 is the target. Gold down to 3,900. Says Bruno Lola. Bruno Lola. But everybody's about gold today. Everyone. I'll take it. I don't know what's happening. A lot of gold. I don't know. A lot of gold bugs from India today. What's up, India? Welcome, our Indian friends. We are actually dovish. Are you, Julius Caesar? Are you? The FOMC is not clear, and markets moved enough today. That's why it's just accumulating. I don't really know. I don't really know what you're saying there, my friend. I am personally looking for further downside on gold. Personally. Placed this short position the end of June. Let's look at this again. Really not a super difficult analysis here. Not looking for anything super complex or super confusing. Basically, gold hit its all-time high in a euphoric frenzy. It had what I would call like a blow-off top, a failed rally into March, a lower low, and then it's just failed highs. When buyers come in, they do not buy higher. Sellers are taking profit, it seems like, on every little uptick. When I got actually bearish on gold was probably in like early May. The bounce from March was not a bounce that convinced me that this was still trending up. Just lackluster buying pressure. The return to 4,100 in June, retesting that support with an even smaller bounce that just immediately rejected from 4,300, this previous support in March. Broke lower. Once it closed under 4,100, that's when I started to look for the short there. And I mean, on Monday, there was a shot that this was like maybe gonna like hunt me out here on the short. It's still, of course, possible, but man, I don't think long is the play. I don't think long is the play. 3,900, I think, is definitely possible, but this trade will take patience if I am on the correct side of this trade. If short is the answer here, which I think it is, but if I'm right, this is not going to be a trade that resolves like this week. Like, this is probably a trade you're looking for, I don't know, by the end of July, maybe into August, like some point in Q2. I would not look at a short on gold today and expect it to be at, I don't know, 3,500 tomorrow. That's probably not happening. It's probably not in the cards. Thank you, Folsom. Appreciate you, dude. How much time remaining for big move? Chris, are you timing these people out? Are you? I can't even tell. Timing them out. Yeah, just time them. You can time them out. Don't hide them. Gold is principle similar to Bitcoin. I agree. Similar. I think people are not doing themselves a favor when they say that like Bitcoin is a digital gold or something. But I can agree that they are similar because they are commodities. They're non-yield generating. I think that's a strength for them, though. Bitcoin is definitely not having a great time, though. Bitcoin's not having the best day here. The FOMC minutes don't seem to have had a meaningful impact on price today. We are 200-week moving average. We are back below it now. That's at like 62.6. Currently at 62,000. What I really do not enjoy right now is our beautiful bounce on Monday that busted back to highs via like after Sailor's sell. This was looking so awesome. You retook the 200-week moving average. You tested July's VWAP right here. I should make this a different color. Tested July's VWAP. Things were looking awesome at that higher high, and now we've just collapsed back down. Lost the 200-week again. Now trading below July's VWAP. This is actually this is the first time in July that we've traded under the VWAP for multiple candles since the 1st. On the 1st of July, for a few hours we did. Then we were finding support there, and it looked like we had a bullish trend established above. Not as much today. Definitely not as much today. Bitcoin is just in a really rough spot. I love Bitcoin. Bitcoin is my passion. I am all in. I've been all in for like 10 years. But I do not see super bullish things for Bitcoin in the near future. I pray that changes. I really do. But thoughts and prayers, man, are just probably not the trading strategy, right? It's really done nothing. We have another lower high. I wish I had more to say about Bitcoin. My analysis has not changed in weeks now, really. Last week's close was nice. It was back above the 200 week. I know you just lost it right away. We could still close back above by the end of this week, but it's 59.5. If I was looking for like a scalp long, 59.5. Scalp long, I don't know, back to 62K if we see 59.5. Back to 62K could be played. XLM, what's up, Mr. Slippers? Shows timed out. That's good. Can quantum crack a Bitcoin? No, I agree. Nah, not reasonably in like I don't know, any time frame that's worrying. No. What a weird statement. And Bitcoin is about to be $1. Dude, we have some very, very interesting people here today. I love it. I appreciate it. We got a lot of new subscribers today. We got Danish is here. I am 47 Gaio, David Jin. We've had like, I don't know, maybe 100 subscribers, new subscribers on YouTube today. That rocks. What's up, Angel Pina, C2 Romero, Band Hollows, Chowd Harry Fleet, Consultante, Dark Side. What's up, bro? Finally, names. David B. Dark Side. Good names. I recognize. Brutal market, bro. It is. It absolutely is a brutal market. Bitcoin is. This is the most brutal cycle that I've ever experienced. I've been in Bitcoin 10 years. This is the most brutal cycle I've ever seen. It's crazy. What's up, digital content? D'Lo Brown, DXB. Whew, some familiar names. There's a lot of unfamiliar names here today. It's good to see some familiar ones. What's up, EOC, Evil, G4RB, Ivan R, Jin Chung, Jewel 1, Kevin, DePawan, Pawan, Kiru Belt, Chris Pax. What are we looking at, Chris? Larry Manto, dude. The Vergodi, Tuxnor. Who are all these names? Welcome, people. Who are all of you? I don't know, but welcome. It's good to have you here. Today's a different day. We went over the FOMC notes. We're kind of like parsing through some charts. It's not a huge amount of trading going on today. Lots of people here somehow. Maybe we're getting raided by some other streamer. I don't know. Looking at gold. Gold isn't moving that much. It did not move off of the FOMC minutes today. I don't think anything's changed here. There could be a narrative, there could be an argument to be made that the war in Iran is not over, and that should be bullish for metals. I mean, I agree, but I would also say it hasn't been over since it started. Not even for 1 minute, and it's probably not going to end. So I don't think markets are really responding to that right now. That there's no change. What's up, Charles Bileside? What's up, brother? You're buying gold right now. Do it then. Then you can do it. What's up, Sound Orbit? There's no change there. Like, we're going to hear of more ceasefires. We're going to hear more, oh, Iran, like come Sunday night, oh, Iran, they said that they want peace now. They're giving us everything. And then by Monday morning, it'll be like, we're going to bomb them. Like, all right. Nothing's changed. We're not getting out of there anytime soon. We very well, like at this point, we very well may be there past Trump's term. Like, we don't have a great history of getting out of places. Especially not Iran. Sol, a lot of you looking at Sol. I think there's a solid trade on Sol coming up. 83 target. Take profit target. Hit. Price is rejected. Awesome. Looking potentially for a fill at $75. When we placed this trade, it didn't look as good as it looks now. It looks very good now. Today's about 4.5% downside candle, reaching down to that $75 mark, and I like this entry. I like it for a few reasons. One, it is a pretty classic support to resistance move. Resistance doing its thing. Looking for a pullback. I like this because it's still, like this doesn't invalidate an uptrend. It doesn't invalidate further highs for Solana. Let's see. Yeah, 382 retrace is what it is. But looking left, we have a beautiful order block here that is likely to act as support. This was our previous resistance, both in June and July. You can see that right here. $75 was tapped multiple times before finding a higher low and climbing back up. $75 long position would be a classic resistance flip to support. On top of that, we have the 20 and 50 moving averages on the day converging bullishly right there. I think that's solid. We had some really compelling evidence for Solana against Bitcoin and Ethereum, but I think that both of those things have started to reverse here, and this is what I'm paying attention to. Solana was giving us a very solid bullish signal through its Bitcoin pair and simultaneously its Ethereum pair. That is not the case at the moment. Not at the moment. Here's what I'm going to be looking at to invalidate that, though. Tapped 001. Now pulling back, looking for a retest of 0012 against Bitcoin. I think if Solana is trading at $75 while it tests this level, previous resistance, I think it will likely bounce. And I think Solana USD will likely bounce. The F pair, I think I got alerts on not doing quite as good. That looks a little uglier. It could line up right here. Could line up with the previous resistance as well. It's interesting. Both of these pairs are pulling back. I like the way this is lining up, honestly. G4RB. Dude, we got the strangest people in chat today. I'm digging it. Your first year in crypto, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. On Bitcoin, I see a pullback to 59K, probably. Realistically. Solana, STRC. STRC bouncing. Wow. STRC bouncing. Here we go. Talked about STRC and its crazy V-shape recovery. What are we looking for here? The right shoulder. $77, $74 longs played. Short got nuked, of course, at 82. Long potentially from 85 or 82.50, because this can still move down. Equal lows across that inverse head and shoulders. And return to 90. I think STRC is looking to go back to its 100 peg, which is weird. Weird because I didn't expect it to. MicroStrategy, filling our short at 100. Clockwork. Dude, I need to start trading strategy instead of Bitcoin. Fire. Weak bounce on strategy here. Back to previous support. I think sellers are going to find it. I think it's still heading lower. Light years away. Uptrend, brah. What's uptrending, Kim? Someone tell you a good day or good after. Sidemen best clips. Good day, sir. Good day to you. Extreme fear. Could be, Matt. Could be. We've been technically, all of those fear and greed meters have been saying we've been in extreme fear. But I mean, I don't know. It's not really fear. It's just boredom. It's like fear that this is so boring that it's never gonna, like, we're gonna downtrend forever. That's like the fear. I don't know what the hell NBIS is. Nibis Group still pulling back. Hims hit 38. Profit taken. It's kind of looking like maybe a higher low there. What's up, Bayonda? Grazy. Disadre. Benham. Kavinda. What's up, friends? What's up, my friends? Stream is against. I don't know why it keeps. I wonder like why it keeps saying that. It just keeps saying stream disconnected on my software, but it hasn't been. Damn. It's wild. It's wild. What a weird stream. What a strange stream. I'm not mad. I'm not mad about it. It's a good stream. What a strange stream. Yeah, I don't know. Guys. There's not that much going on. We had the FOMC minutes. We went over it. Did a good job. A lot of you tuned in here. I appreciate it. I think I'm going to wrap it up. We're going to be live again on Friday at the latest. We may be live tomorrow if something spicy happens, but we will be alive. We will be alive on Friday. We will be going live right here, and you should join us. We have the FOMC at the end of the month, and I will give you guys a heads up here. Next week, I will not be around. I'll be taking my very first vacation ever. Live streaming here for 7 years, never taking a vacation. I'll be out all next week. I know, I miss you guys. It'll be rough. It'll be rough, but I'll come back with a renewed energy and a renewed passion for trading and charting. If you haven't joined our Discord, you should join it right now. Discord.gg/TomCrown. It's free. Just get in there and just jump in, join the community there. You should sign up with our exchange partners. They are in the video description below, FEMEX and BYD-FI. Use my link. You don't have to do KYC. They're great places to trade. I've been working with them for a long time. They help keep the channel running during the slow times, and I'm very appreciative of that. Make sure you've liked and subscribed. Turn your notifications on. While I'm gone on vacation, I will be dropping a new trading video, a new trading how-to tutorial guide. You can check those out on the channel, on the playlist. They are wonderful, awesome videos. They're also free. The best in the biz. What's up, 𝐂𝐲𝐬𝐳? Appreciate you. Appreciate you all tuning in. I love you guys. I will catch you very soon.